My lovely student, you've been learning English for months, maybe even years, and I have to ask you something important. Are you really using it in your daily life? Or only when the teacher is watching? You see, most learners tell me I only speak English in class, and that's exactly why they feel stuck. If English stays trapped in your notebook, it will never roll off your tongue naturally. Language is like a muscle. You have to train it in real situations, not just on paper. So today, I'm going to show you how to bring English into your everyday life in ways that feel fun, natural, and effortless. By the end, you'll see that English isn't just a subject. It's a living skill you can use every single day. Part 1. Think in English. This is the #1 habit of fluent speakers. They don't translate in their head. My lovely student, imagine you're holding a steaming cup of coffee in the morning. Don't think in your native language first and then translate. Just let your brain say coffee instantly. When you're walking to the bus stop, start describing the world around you in English. The sky is cloudy. I can smell fresh bread from the bakery. A car just passed by with loud music. I once had a student who practiced this while walking to work. Every day she'd describe the people she saw, the weather, and even her feelings in English. After 2 months, she told me her thoughts naturally started forming in English, without effort. That's the magic here. The more you think in English, the less you'll freeze when it's time to speak. Part 2. Turn your phone into an English teacher. Your phone is always with you, so why not make it your personal English coach? Change your phone's language settings to English, so every time you unlock it, you see messages, calendar, and settings instead of your native words. Follow English-speaking creators on Instagram, TikTok, or YouTube. Even funny meme pages work. Write your daily reminders and to-do lists in English. Buy milk. Call mom. Finish report. One of my students turned her entire phone into an English zone. Even her alarms were in English, saying things like, "Time to wake up, superstar." The result? She didn't even realize she was learning. Her brain simply started seeing English as normal, like breathing. Part 3. Speak to yourself. Yes, it might feel strange at first, but trust me, it's powerful. When you're alone, narrate your actions like you're in a cooking show or vlog. I'm making breakfast. I'm slicing the bread. I'm adding strawberry jam. Or plan your day out loud. First, I'll send an email. Then, I'll take a short walk. Later, I'll meet Sarah for coffee. One of my shyest students used this trick while cleaning her room. She'd say things like, "I'm folding my clothes neatly. I'm dusting the table. Oh, I found my missing pen." Over time, she stopped overthinking grammar and just spoke naturally. You're training your brain and mouth together. So when you meet a real person, the words come out almost automatically. Part 4. Use English in daily decisions. Whenever you need to search online, watch a tutorial, or read instructions, pick the English version. Looking for a cake recipe? Type chocolate cake recipe instead of your native words. Watching a YouTube tutorial on fixing your headphones. Find one in English and try following it without pausing every second. I had a learner who loved DIY projects. She started following English craft channels and within weeks was picking up phrases like cut along the edge, and secure it with glue, without studying them in a book. The difference is huge. You're not just memorizing vocabulary, you're linking English to real-life actions you care about. Part 5. Practice micro-conversations. You don't need a 1-hour English chat to make progress. Even a 30-second exchange can work wonders. Say, "Good morning," to your neighbor in English if they understand. If you see a tourist looking confused, ask, "Do you need help finding something?" Leave short comments in English on videos. "That's so funny." Or, "I agree with this." One of my students started chatting briefly with the cashier at a coffee shop. Things like, "I'll have a cappuccino, please," and "Thank you, have a great day." After a month, she told me she wasn't scared of talking to strangers anymore because those small moments built her courage step by step. The more you use English in real life, the more it becomes your language. Part 6. Join communities. My lovely student, learning English alone can feel like walking through an empty street. But joining a community is like stepping into a busy, friendly cafe where everyone speaks the language you want to master. If you love photography, don't just scroll through pictures quietly. Join an English-speaking photography group on Facebook, or post your own work on Instagram with English captions. You'll be surprised how quickly people start asking questions and giving feedback. And suddenly, you're talking about camera lenses and lighting in English without even thinking about grammar. If gaming is your thing, hop on a Discord server where players chat in English while battling together. And if you love cooking, join an online cooking class from another country. I once had a student who loved gardening. She joined a British gardening forum just to ask about roses. And a few months later, she was chatting with strangers about compost and soil in perfect English. When you share a hobby with others, English becomes your bridge to connect hearts and ideas, not just a subject in a book. Part 7. Replace subtitles. Here's a secret. Your brain is much smarter than you think. If you've always used subtitles in your native language, you're giving your brain a comfortable chair when it really needs a bit of exercise. Start by switching to English subtitles. Yes, you'll still read, but now you'll connect the sounds to the words. Then, when you're ready, take the training wheels off and watch without subtitles at all. At first, it will feel like jumping into deep water, but soon you'll find you can swim. One of my students loved watching Friends. She started with subtitles in her language, then English subtitles, and finally, no subtitles. One day she texted me saying she laughed at a Chandler joke instantly, without translating it in her head. That's the magic. Your ears start recognizing real pronunciation. Your brain fills in the missing pieces, and English becomes less about understanding every word and more about catching the meaning naturally. Part 8. Use the describe and react method. This one is fun, and you can do it anywhere. The moment something happens, describe it in English and react out loud or in your head. If it's raining, say, "Oh no, my shoes are going to get wet." If your friend buys you a coffee, say, "You're a lifesaver." I remember a student who loved cycling. Every time he rode through the park, he would describe what he saw. "The sky is so blue today. That dog looks happy. The wind feels amazing." Over time, his brain stopped translating. English became the language of his thoughts. You can even react to little inconveniences. Spill your drink and say, "Oops, that was clumsy." Or drop your pen and sigh, "Not again." By tying English to your emotions and daily experiences, it stops feeling like a classroom exercise and starts feeling like part of your personality. Part 9. Teach someone something. When you teach, even something small, you're not just speaking, you're processing. Explaining forces you to search for words, arrange your thoughts, and speak clearly. And this is exactly what makes your English sharper. You don't need to be a professional teacher. Maybe your friend wants to know how to make your favorite recipe, or your little cousin wants to know how to play a game. Explain it in English, slowly, step by step. One of my learners loved origami, so she started making short videos teaching people how to fold paper cranes, narrating every step in English. At first, she used simple words. Fold this in half. But soon she was using more advanced vocabulary like crease and diagonal. The beauty is, teaching doesn't just help your listener, it pushes you to think faster, remember more words, and gain confidence. Part 10. Celebrate small wins. Progress in English isn't only measured by test scores. It's measured in those little victories that make you smile. Maybe today you ordered coffee in English without hesitation, or you overheard two tourists and understood their conversation. I had a student who once told me her happiest moment wasn't passing an exam. It was when she made a joke in English at work and her colleagues laughed. That laugh told her she was inside the language now, not outside looking in. My lovely student, keep a victory list in your phone. Every time you achieve something, no matter how small, write it down. Ask for directions in English.